Who said that winning baseball games are easy? When your fifth guy comes in straight off the minors, had some moderate success, really struggles, and you bring in Taiwan Walker, and you end up winning the game. Tyler Mroz, Heat Ratio Sports, Phillies post-game show, and a massive, massive comeback win for the Phillies today. They were down 4-0, but on the backs of Bryce Harper, Cal Stevenson, and Taiwan Walker, they prevailed and won today's game at 6-4. They only need what? 7 more games to win the National League East, and that number goes down even lower with another win tomorrow. So obviously, we mentioned those 3 names as the players of the game. Going to talk about all of them. Bryce Harper, man, his first home run since August 9th, his 6th and 7th home runs today since the All-Star break. So since the middle of July, he's only hit 7 home runs, and 2 of them were today. First one in over a month. Bryce Harper getting half the team's RBIs. So great game from him. One of his better games in recent memory. And Cal Stevenson, can we talk about him? Always comes through in the clutch. He doesn't have the greatest stats, but I mean, he does his job. I mean, what? He's batting 333 on the season. He has been phenomenal for the role he's playing. And if you listen to his post-game interview, he said, I don't get many opportunities, so I'm just trying to do the best I can with the time I've been given. So a phenomenal game from him. Crazy robbery, a home run robbery in the 8th inning on JD Martinez. Saved Jeff Hoffman from giving up the tying run. So great game from Cal Stevenson. And then on the pitching side, we got to talk about the bullpen as a whole. But there's one specific person, an unlikely person, someone that we have been bashing all season long, who we've been calling to be released or sent down to the minors. It's Taiwan Walker. 3 innings, no runs, 3 hits. A phenomenal game from Taiwan Walker. Easily his best game of the season so far. And this is exactly what the Phillies need him to be at this point in the season. He is a bullpen guy that can come in, give you 3 innings. So I think it's a positive sign. Now, Colby Allard did not do all that well, but when you have Taiwan Walker coming in behind him and doing the things he did today, really the Phillies would not have won if it weren't for Taiwan Walker. We got David checking in. What a catch Cal made. One of the best catches of the season for the Phillies. I don't think it's the best home run robbery. My personal favorite this year is Johan Rojas, where he just casually catches it like it's a normal fly ball. But, I mean, Cal Stevenson, phenomenal game from him. He is definitely making his mark to stay and making his case to stay on the roster post Austin Hayes and Mundo Sosa. So we'll see about that if it's him or if it's Cody Clemens. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him, but, I mean, rosters go back down to 26 for the postseason, right? How many? Let me look this up. Roster spots on MLB teams for postseason. I think it's 26. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, it is 26. So 2 guys are going to have to go down. That's still 2 weeks away. But Cal Stevenson making his case. Taiwan Walker, best game of the year. Bryce Harper, his best power game in over a month. So talking about Colby Allard, he did really struggle, could not find the strike zone, walked in a run in the first inning, and then you had the 3rd inning. It wasn't really an earned run. Cody Clemens had the error. And Starling Marte, we talked about him being the Phillies killer, has like a 380-something average in over 80 career games against the Phillies, and he left his mark tonight. He was 2 for 2. He had 3 of their 4 RBIs, but it didn't matter. Carlos Estevez came in for the save, but Colby Allard did struggle. The bullpen as a whole was phenomenal. Obviously, we talked about Taiwan Walker, but Kerkering and Hoffman came in, scoreless innings, and then Carlos Estevez closed it out, his 25th save on the year. So he's been a great closer for the Phillies, definitely getting what they thought they were getting, not like a situation where you trade for a guy hoping him to be your closer and then he really struggles and you got to move him down in the pitching rotation in the bullpen. But no, he has been great for the Phillies. He has been a great closer for them. We talked about limiting the home runs because last night in the 11 runs the Mets scored, 10 of those runs came off of the home runs. And you didn't give up any home runs today. You almost did with the JD Martinez home run, almost, but Cal Stevenson robbed it. But no home runs from the Mets today. Their offense was dead after Colby Allard came out. Taijuan Walker shut them down. A revenge game from him, former All-Star on the Mets. And then the rest of the pen, Kirkering, Estevez, and Hoffman, they also shut the team down. Only 4 hits. So they had more hits in 3 innings against Colby Allard than they did in the last 6 innings against the Phillies bullpen. So all around, great game. David saying, got to give credit where credit is due. Harper, Stevenson, yep. Just need the guys to keep stepping up. Yeah, Wheeler in the bullpen. It is the offense. It usually is the offense, and that is also my biggest concern because you've seen it in the last 2 postseasons. When that offense is hot, they are red hot. They are scoring at least 5 runs a game. But when that team goes cold, everybody goes cold. So if Bryce Harper's struggling a little bit, if Kyle Schwarber's struggling a little bit, everybody struggles and they just go dead. I mean, you saw it in the World Series. They got no hit, and then they scored, 2 runs in that game where they were wearing the powder blues. And then the final game at Mundo Sosa, this close from hitting a 3-run home run to take the lead, but just missed it, and the offense was just dead for the rest of that series. And you saw it last year. Phillies were up 2-0 on the Diamondbacks, and then offense is dead. I mean, obviously, I blame that a lot on Craig Kimbrell, but the offense was dead. So that's just still my biggest concern. I think it'll be a little bit different this year with the bye. Hopefully that gives them rest so they can shoot out their firepower for the later games, because a lot of people are like, well, Braves and the Dodgers, they've really struggled the past 2 seasons with getting the bye because they've both gotten the bye in each of the last 2 seasons. But it's the Phillies. The Phillies are different. The Phillies are a good postseason team. Dodgers are not a good postseason team. So don't expect anything from them. So hoping that the bye for the Phillies can get them some more star power. It's right. Harper is back. Definitely looked like his old self. Did look a little bit hurt on his last at-bat with the swings. I don't know. It was his shoulder, it was his elbow, because he's been dealing with those injuries. So he did look phenomenal, though. So great game from Bryce Harper. And then talked about not hitting. You can't come out and wait till the 9th inning to score 3 runs when you're down 11. And they did great today. They had I got to change this because I made this before the bottom of the 8th inning. They had 9 hits on 4 runs. Let me change that. 9, 4, 6. Wait, what am I? Wait, am I looking at the right thing? Oh, that's the Mets. Jeez. 8 hits, 6 runs. Look at the top, because I don't know why. But yeah, offense was great tonight. You had the Nick Castellanos. He had a solid hit in the 8th inning, and then JT Realmuto brought him in. He was 2 for 4 tonight. Schwarber and Turner didn't really do much, but Bryson Stott started that rally in the 7th. Was that the 7th inning? Yeah, that was the 7th inning, because then Cal Stevenson came in the clutch once again. So, yeah, great game from the offense tonight. And let's see how we did on the triple play. I think we hit at least once. So let's see how we did. We did hit 1. Colby Allard did not get 3.5. He only finished with 3. Kyle Schwarber was over, did not get that. But the over on the runs hit, it was said over 8.5. They scored 10 total. So that hit. 1 for 4. Cody Clemens did not hit a home run. The only way we would have gotten this is if we had said Bryce Harper. So still, you hit 1. That is a good day. Colby Allard, nope. Kyle Schwarber, nope. But the over had us today. So again, use that promo code HEAT. Go to Win Daily. Use that code for a scratch and save. Could get 50% off for a year. You could get a free $25. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a lottery scratch off. So make sure you are doing that. This is usually the part of the show where we talk about the National League playoff teams, but nothing has changed since the pregame show. Phillies are the only team to have played. Braves and Dodgers haven't played yet. Diamondbacks and Brewers haven't played yet, and neither have the Padres. So not really much to talk about there. I think we're just going to get straight to Noche UFC. UFC 306 in the Sphere is tonight. Uh, it's also Canelo, the boxer. He's also fighting tonight. So a lot of people are going to be watching that as well. I don't know what the projections say. I think the projections are saying that boxing is going to outsell the UFC. And I blame this on Dana White. I mean, the top 3 fights of this card are pretty good, but the other 2 on the main card, I'm a casual right now. I'm still learning my UFC. I've been playing the games. I've been watching old fights. I'm still learning all the new guys, but I don't really know any of the 4 guys that are in the first 2 fights of this card. So Dana White should have came out a little bit stronger, but I mean, he makes the Utah card next month really good and the Abu Dhabi card really good. Questionable choices there, but I'm going to share 4 parlays, or not 4 parlays, 4 bets I like tonight. Technically 5, because the first one has 2. Raul Rosas Jr. money line minus 950, but then also for him to win by submission. I think that's going to get done within the first couple rounds, either the first or the second. He has 6 first-round finishes. He's 9-1. He's a youngin, but he doesn't really knock out. He has 2 knockouts out of his 9, but 6 wins by submission. And his previous one, round 2 submission in June, and then the KO. He's on a 4-fight win streak, I believe. No, 2, because he lost to Rodriguez last April, but I'm confident in this. He's a heavy favorite, one of the heaviest favorites of the night, and I do think that Raul Rosas Jr. gets it done by submission. And then Brian Ortega moneyline. I am kind of surprised that Brian Ortega is the underdog in this fight. This fight was supposed to happen in June, but in that cursed card, it was supposed to be Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler in the main event, but Alex Pereira and Yuri Prohakovich, I think that's how you say it. I don't quite know. I'm still figuring out names too, but Ortega Lopez was supposed to happen on that event. And then at 7:00, right as the prelims were starting, got the news that Brian Ortega was pulling out because I believe he was sick and he couldn't fight. So then last second, I forget, something with an I. He stepped in. Diego Lopez did win, but Ortega 16-3. You look at his fight history. Beat Rodriguez in February. Lost to Ortega. Lost to Volkanovski, but I mean, Volkanovski is one of the greatest of all time. I know that. So I do like this. Hasn't really fought a ton lately. Did win by submission earlier this year, but did not fight the entirety of 2023. So it's his first fight since February, and he hasn't really fought too much recently, but I think he'll be fresh enough. I don't think Diego Lopez is there yet, but I do really like Ortega moneyline, especially as the underdog at plus 145. I do think those are pretty good odds. I don't think he's going to finish Lopez. I think if you are betting on decisions, I think this fight, it's 3 rounds. I think it has a good chance to go to decision, but I do think Brian Ortega will win one way or another. But speaking of decisions, I do like Alexa Grasso to win by decision. This is the co-main event for tonight. Her versus Valentino Shevchenko, number 3. UFC loves to have their trilogies, so this is the 3rd one for the women's flyweight title. Shevchenko, one of the best women's fighters of all time. Grasso on the rise, 16-3-1. This event is pretty much built around her. She is from Mexico, and this is a Mexican Independence Day show, so she is the heavy favorite. I wouldn't say heavy, but like the UFC wants her to win. She's minus 112 odds, a little bit less of a reach, but you just look at what she's been able to do. I just really like her odds in this fight. Shevchenko versus Grasso. They fought March of last year. You look at that. Oh, that was the last time John Jones fought. That's crazy. But Grasso won by submission in the 4th. I do think it's going to be a little bit more even. I could see Grasso finishing it, but I think no matter what, Grasso wins. So what is her money line on DraftKings? It's minus 125. I like that. It'll definitely be a close fight that'll go late. I think it'll go 4 to 5 rounds. So I do like decision. I don't think it's going to be a knockout or a submission, but I could see that happening. And then the main event, you got Sugar Sean O'Malley, bantamweight champion of the world, going up against the number one contender for the bantamweight title in the machine, Mroz Davishvili. Surprised I got that right. Him and Habib's name. I gotta look. Okay, so Habib Nurmagomedov. I think that's how you say it. I can only say it like right when I'm looking at the name, but he's on a 10-fight win streak. Mroz, one of the best grapplers in the, if not the best in the bantamweight division, if not for Habib's brother Umar Nurma. I don't want to butcher it anymore. I'm just gonna call Habib and Umar. But his last fight, he beat Henry Cejudo in February, unanimous decision. You look at his previous fights, unanimous decision, unanimous decision, unanimous decision. But these are all 3-rounders. And Sean O'Malley is one of the most powerful strikers, and he does so well against little fighters. He fought against Chito Vera. Chito Vera never gets knocked out, or else O'Malley would have knocked him out in the second round. There was one punch that he threw at Chito, and I don't know how Chito didn't just collapse on the floor. But O'Malley's got the power. Mroz goes for takedowns. Everybody's saying the same thing. Merab's going to start spamming takedowns, and then O'Malley's going to catch him with either a knee or a right hook. I think this is an easy win for Sean O'Malley. I'm going to say to win by KO, TKO, DQ, plus 150. Great odds. I do think this is happening in round 2. That's my prediction. Could see it going to round 3, but hearing a lot of people say if it goes past round 2, Merab's chances go way up. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Sean O'Malley, no matter what, is going to win. I think he's going to win by knockout. And if any of you are using Fliff as a betting app, they are running a boosted promo on that app. If you bet Sean O'Malley to land any strike, so this is free money, any strike, which he's going to do within the first 10 seconds, you can double your money. It's plus 100. So you can bet 10 to win 20. That's the max, though. I would definitely do that if you use that app. Even if you don't, I would download it just for that. It's a free $10. You do have to cash out after $50, so beware of that. So maybe you can hit some parlays with what I got going tonight. So again, Raul Rosas Jr. money line, and for him to win by submission. Brian Ortega money line plus 145. Alexa Grasso to win by decision plus 165, and then Sugar Show Sean O'Malley and still to win by KO, TKO, and or DQ at plus 150. There's a video out there somewhere where I'm dancing, and it's Sean O'Malley's theme song playing. So maybe we'll be celebrating tomorrow. But David Peterson for the Mets tomorrow, one of their best, arguably their best pitcher this season, 9-2, a 2.98 ERA. Going up against Chris Sanchez, 10-9, a 3.33 ERA. Big rubber matchup. But unfortunately, there will be no pregame show, but make sure you're checking out here on Heat Ratio Sports for the Corner Pub NFL pregame show. They started it last week. It was a great show, so make sure you tune in for it tomorrow. I might be getting on later. I am going to Six Flags, so I'll be keeping up with all the games happening. So, I'll try and get on halftime maybe. Maybe I can hop on with Tony, or if Tony's hopping on, you're going to get a couple streams tomorrow here on Heat Ratio Sports. So make sure you are pressing that notification bell because you're notified as soon as someone on this page goes live. If you're a serious listener, check out the Fantasy Football Radio right now. Tony is live from 6 to 8 p.m. So that's going to be it for this edition of Phillies postgame / UFC predictions video. So have a good night, everyone. Hopefully see you tomorrow during halftime of, Texans Bears. Texans are going to win that probably. I would bet money on them, but the Bears do have a good defense. So see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a good night. And as always, stay fresh, my friends.